Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Tommy C., an American expat in Germany, and probably the only English speaker, the only English YouTuber that is a super fan of the great Wehen Wiesbaden, who recently started their season. Now, they played 2 games. This is my first video of the new season. After all, we were regulated to the third league, but I'm very excited and I'm very happy with the results so far. It seems like we reacquired an offense. It is very much a new team. In a lot of ways, it's a younger team. And let's just go over the last 2 games and some of the things that I really loved about what I saw. I really enjoyed it. I'll even talk about the new jersey and all that other good stuff. So let's do this. So this game was played over a week ago. I just want to go over it because I just touched on it a little bit. Because, while the possession time is probably not ideal in this situation, we saw a brand new offense. We don't have Platine anymore. We don't so we're really gonna have to rely on the guys that we brought in, like Moritz Flotho, our friend Faranik. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He's a new guy too, as you can see. Doesn't even have a picture yet. And Nick Baxter, who I'm going to talk a lot about in the future, who is really creating a lot of offense, a lot of plays, and probably got ripped off with the goal. You see Moritz Flotho. You don't have TH in German. Flotho. He got a really early goal, and then Vril would go on to score 2 unanswered goals, and then really because of constant Wehen Wiesbaden pressure, the fact that you never got the feeling these guys were out of it. You never got the feeling they weren't pushing. You really never got the feeling they couldn't win this game, and they probably should have. And they actually forced this own goal. This wasn't some kind of sort of crazy error that we got a little lucky with. It was really this particular own goal by Lokatic was really as a result of pressure from the offense that managed to tie it up. Now, one of the problems with this game is except for Karsten's yellow card, both these. This is our new. I imagine he's of Turkish descent. Tarık Guzern. I'm going to get his name by the end of the season. And Grellinger, both these guys got yellow cards very early on, and they didn't actually make contact with the opposition. These were blown calls. And then later on, Nick Baxter would be the recipient of what I thought was a pretty good defensive play, and he would run it in and make it a 2-2. But that goal was pulled out. But I guess it's the fourth official. The fourth official decided there was a foul prior to Baxter actually receiving the ball. And there's no VAR in the Dritte Liga, the third league. There's no VAR, and they actually pulled it back. I sent a DM to Sasha Machnabt. He said he wasn't even familiar with it. But apparently the fourth official does have the option to talk to the main referee, and he convinced him to pull that goal back, but it didn't matter because, like I said, this particular goal right here was forced. Now, we did give up 2 goals. I do think there are some things that probably could go on in the midfield. This is a guess on my part that could be more preventative to keep offense developing. I think that kind of continued into the next game. I'd like to see probably better defense in the midfield, not put so much pressure on our center backs. But overall, this is a fantastic game because it had a certain amount of life, and I felt like we had offense. And I thought, obviously, Flotho, he looks like a finisher. I hope he can keep this up. He's a young guy. And Bätzner really became the player that I think we hoped he was last year. There's a lot of times when Bätzner was in the lineup that was uncomfortable because he would go games without an assist, or even significant touches on the ball that led to offense. That has not been the case this year. Now, Bätzner had an injury early last year. Sometimes these things are nagging. Maybe that's why we saw him. Both coaches had a lot of faith in him. Actually, Niels Doring did put him on the bench when Yashinsky was gone, but they've had a lot of faith in him. He's made 2 starts so far, and they've been huge starts. And I really love what Nick has put to the team, and I wouldn't have said that last year. Yesterday, the first game at the Brit Arena, one that my family attended. We get our first win since March against Hansa Rostock, a team that was also relegated last year as well. They've basically they're in a complete rebuild situation. I was looking at the lineup. There was only one player I recognized from last year's team, and I wasn't particularly a big fan of their offense, and I felt very confident this is a team we should beat. Would have liked to have a few more goals, but it's just like we're creating opportunities where we weren't creating them last year. Now this is a little lower level, so it should be a little easier. Flotho had another thing, a play that was sort of created by Nick Bätzner, like listen, but this time he gets the direct assist. I really, really love what Nick Bätzner's doing. It was really something I think we were missing when Johannes Wirtz left last year. I know he was 32 years old. They wanted to move on, but I got to be honest with you, Robin Hauser never filled that role, and I don't know if he was even meant to. So now we got a guy like Bätzner, like actually creating things and making them happen. And I really hope they don't do what they with Olszewski did last year, where he kind of starts toying around with the offense. I want to see. That's the thing I noticed about Dorian. He kind of pretty much kept the same forwards out there so they can develop some synergy, so to speak. That's old corporate world speak, and some communication. And yeah, they were able to score in the 31st minute and hold them back. Now, this game was not without its luck. As you can see, that Rostock had much more opportunities. I really don't think they had the firepower to finish, and that was the big problem. There's also a play that was very concerning where our new captain, Stritzel, actually kind of overcommitted defensively and then had to play defender outside the box, and he was chipped, and the ball went right over the left post and popped out. Very lucky. It's probably the most entertaining part of the game, but that kind of stuff can't be happening. I did feel like the midfield and the center backs, which I'm really not used to because I'm totally used to Wiesbaden having a real difficult defense to deal, although they did get a clean sheet in fairness. I did feel like they got stretched more than one time. But like in the first game, I get the feeling these are things that can be worked out over time and not things that will be nagging us the rest of the season. I think there's new guys. They're passing so much better. There's so much, you're not seeing sort of like, one of those triangle volley type passes, and they're able to get it out of the midfield instead of, Robin Hauser like breaking it up. The last guy to touch the ball before it goes out of bounds or in the seats or something like that. And these guys seem to have a lot of, they're able to do some of the, more advanced passing techniques to create offense, to get it to the forwards in the midfield. And I saw it several times in both games. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm really happy about the future. Hopefully that stuff keeps up. Now, what I was talking about, midfield getting stretched, the defense getting stretched. I'm hoping that's something that can be worked out. I still have a lot of faith, and they have Sasha Mockenhop. He's back at the center back position instead of, he's of course can take over a wing back situation if like God forbid, like Gopel gets hurt or something like that, which happened the year of their promotion. He took Gopel's spot, and he can be an asset defensively. So I wasn't super confident with what I saw there, but I just get the feeling they could be patched up. Maki's been there a long time. We have Carson's right in the center. I've seen good things for him from both the last two seasons. I think this is something that could be tightened up, and the loss of Vukotic and Matthias can kind of be patched up, along with our offense, which seems to be. I just get the feeling with the way Bätzner's playing and the way Flotho's finishing, and even Fanek, if I'm saying his name correctly. I mean, there's just so much more life up front. There's just tons more life up front. I feel like if we had these guys, we'd won 2 or 3 games and managed to stay in the second league. I feel really good about this so far. Now, if I had to make a guess, this is the future right here. It's Moritz Flotho. You see him getting signed. This video came out about a month ago. He's been a bright spot. He's who everybody's talking about. But I definitely want to put out that, Mr. Nick Bätzner here, he was signed last year. He was coming off an injury. He didn't play for the first couple weeks. And I don't really feel ashamed that he was underwhelming last season. He did not generate much. That's what he was there for, and it just never came to fruition. The type of player that I saw the last two games was the player that I thought, at least what I read, was what I was getting. And if I'm getting it now, that's just fine. Look, last year was last year, and maybe he can show us something. At least he didn't skip out like some of the other player. He's there. He's producing, and this could be Wehen and good for Wehen and the rest of our career. So Bätzner was a little quiet in the second half, but he was definitely making an impact early. If he can keep it up, I have a feeling Mr. Flotho and him could be a deadly combination. And we're going to need it because these two teams we played, Werl and Rostock, who's basically been stripped down. The tests come when we're playing the Bielefelds. The test comes when we're going to be playing the Dresdens, Saarbrückens of the world. These are going to be really tough matches, and they're going to really test us to show if we're in a promotion situation. Now, me personally, going into this, I would probably be happy with a fourth place finish, which guarantees us a spot in the DFB Pokal. Maybe that's setting the bar a little low, but I just thought after losing all those defensive players that were really the heart of the team, that might be the best case scenario. After these two games, I'm gonna have to see what if we beat a Dresden, we beat a Bielefeld, if we beat some of these bigger clubs in the third league, then I might set my expectation a little bit higher. I'd rather stay. If I got to stay in the DFB, we need that money. We're a small club. We need that money. I'll take it. But right now, I'm hoping this translated to a future test that we're going to get, because Bielefeld's going to test us, Saarbrücken's going to test us, and certainly Dresden Dynamo, they're going to test us. And if we can compete with those guys, maybe we can just make this a one-year thing and go back up where we belong. We shall see. Certainly, this gentleman that you see right here is going to be a big part of that if that happens. Some honorable mention for players that didn't point out. This gentleman right here, Fabian Greilinger, he's a new guy too. He strikes me as one of these guys that you hate to play against, but you love to have him on your team. He's a little whiny. He bitches at the referee a lot. He's a pusher and shover. He's a jersey grabber. I always think it's good to have one of these guys in your team. He's kind of a feisty guy on your team. And boy, he had some really important touches. The camera's on him on a lot. If you have guys making impact, you notice the camera's going to be on him a lot more. I'm going to be keeping my eye out on Fabian Greilinger. I hope I'm saying his name right, but you're going to see, look, I ain't German, you know what I mean? I'll get it as the season goes on. It took me a while to say Platein's name too. So, yeah, honorable mention, Fabian Greilinger. He seems like he's really annoying to play against. And, me coming from a hockey background, it's always good to have a guy like that in your team. And you also see his passion. He's ready to go. He's ready to make it happen. But he does get on referees' nerves. So he's got to watch that. And, of course, what everybody's talking about in the Rhine-Main area, everybody that loves football is talking about the battle of the Rhine. And that'll be Wehen Wiesbaden versus Mainz 05, the first team I followed. And I followed them all the way back when Jurgen Klopp brought them up 100 Jahr. And in 2005, he brought them up to the first league. And they've been pretty much a mainstay ever since. I think they've only went up and down twice since. I think last time they've been down, got close last year, was something like 19 years ago. 19 years ago. So this is the third time I think that Wiesbaden has met Mainz in the Pokal. I think Mainz, obviously being in the higher league, has won that more often than none. But this is a big deal. And you know what? This is exactly the team I wanted to draw. I want bragging rights against the Mainzers, against the students. I know we're kind of seen as the snooty rich kids, but really we're a village team from Tannerstein, so they're the rich kids. But no, I'm really looking forward to this. Got tickets for this. We're looking forward. We played RB Leipzig last year, damn near forced extra time. So this is huge, and it's also a big money maker. We need this. We need this money, you know. I mean, I don't expect Wiesbaden to get all that far, but if they can knock off Mainz and make their season just a little worse, I'm fine with it. I actually do kind of root for Mainz a little bit because they don't meet much, and they certainly don't meet much in a game that matters. And Friday, 6 p.m., I'll be there. They're getting the green out, DFB Pokal. If you don't know what that means, it's kind of like the FA Cup. One and done, you're out. And yeah, it's a German championship. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be making a video about it. Okay, we come to this time New Jersey review. Here we go. This is the brand new Wehen Wiesbaden jersey. Looks a little bit like last year. Stuck with the gold numbers. I like that. We've had that, 3 seasons in a row. I don't like the white numbers. I think that looks nice. I got my man here and the black stripe. Not as good as the 2022-23, but definitely better than last year. Of course, I have a lot of bad feelings about last year. It's hard to see my kid walk around with that jersey, but yeah, I like it. And when we get the white one, we'll review that one too. They're going with white twice, but this year's white jersey I think looks a lot better. It's a lot cooler than last year. I hope. I have to check. See, I like the stitches. Last year they didn't have the stitches. It was just like a plastic thingy. But I like the stitches. I like the jersey. I like the fact that I think Wehen, they don't do the plain ass jersey. They always make a good effort. You're not just sticking it with like white or one solid color or something like that. They try to do something a little crazy. Now, it's not an MLS jersey because they're the most badass, but it's still a good jersey. Like the black stripe, looks very professional. Definitely proud to be rocking the Wehen Wiesbaden jersey Turcotte this year. And we'll see you next time's video. I'm sure you'll be seeing it shortly after the Battle of the Rhine, Mainz, Wiesbaden. We'll see you real soon, and stay here writing Glory Hunters for my rant videos on Wehen Wiesbaden, of course, New York Red Bull. And the best part is you can be a Glory Hunter too. Send me a copy that you want to post as a community project. Send me a copy of your video on Google Drive. I'll take a look at it, and I'll put it up here. This is a community project. Go into the Discord, join our stuff. We're always streaming games in there. We're always talking football in the game. It's an open club. This is an open project. This is not a money maker for me, but we want to see you there too. So, hey, join. We'll see you around. See you real soon. Take care. Peace.